You didn't want to believe me, Anonymous. I told you this would become your problem, and now it's it's only going to become more and more your problem. Like I said, it gets worse. I have a news article right here that suggests that Google is talking amongst themselves, the corporate people, about buying 4chan. That's right, Google wants to purchase 4chan and use it to gain not only more user base, more people that are popular, and just increase its overall wealth and fame, but the fact it wants to monopolize the internet. This will determine the future of the internet, because it'll only be a matter of time before the government intervenes and forces Google to separate, because this is a monopoly. I mean, Google owns most websites to some extent. It owns YouTube. It now wants to own 4chan. And how come the government hasn't stepped in yet? So maybe this will be a positive in the sense that maybe this will motivate government to do something. But in the meantime, it'll most certainly be the destruction of all those who were anonymous and moderators and thought that it was so funny to ban everybody. Well, now the joke's on you, because now Google will be deciding what is and isn't appropriate material for 4chan. And guess what? There won't be no fucking torrenting on 4chan anymore. There won't be none of this Shotacon or furry porn or whatever the fuck. Google wants nothing to do with that. Google wants to retain some dignity in order to keep this at least image of being a hospitable place, even though we know they're not. I mean, any business of that magnitude is completely immoral, but in order to keep face, they'll minimize on the sleaziness. But even the sleaziness is not as bad as corporatism. But most people are too stupid to think about that. For the common man, they'll just like the new look for 4chan to be a new Facebook. Seeing as Google failed with Google+, they're going to try to conquer over Facebook with 4chan. And this is going to pretty much drive out all of the anonymous. So I told you should have attacked 4chan when you still had time, because they were contradicting your so-called beliefs, and now the fact that they're going to be part of the system. They are now part of the man. So what will you do, Anonymous? What will you do now that your precious underground, so-called underground website is now part of Google? I mean, it was already mainstream. Anyone that believed 4chan was actually the underbelly of the internet hate machine, is a fucking moron. 4chan gets on somewhere around 5 billion views a day, if not more. I doubt, since there is no possible way that can be underground. You're not a fucking rebel when you're getting 5 billion views a day. So, all this proves is that the evil people succeed. Because not only is Moot a piece of shit, he's a piece of shit that deserves to die, but he's going to get a whole lot of money to sell 4chan to Google. Money he does not deserve. But in the meantime, what will this mean for the rest of us? Will this mean that finally I get to rub it in the face of every 4chan occupant, every 4chan member, because I was banned from 4chan, and everyone made a big stink about it and thought it was so hilarious. Well, I hate to break it to you, but I'm a pretty prominent YouTube vlogger, and that in turn makes my videos an extension of Google Enterprise. Whether or not I like that is besides the point. The point is, YouTube is related to Google, so if 4chan is related to Google, then it'll only be a matter of time before Jim Profit is all over 4chan. Because my videos will be linked to on 4chan because, well, like I said, YouTube is related to Google. It'll all be intertwined. And what are you going to do about that? Who do you hate more is what this comes down to. Do you hate Jim Profit so much that you're willing to ignore these facts? Or do you hate the fact that our society is completely dominated by a handful of corporations, to the point where they're not satisfied with what they have? Google is not satisfied with having enough money to turn NASA into a joke. They want more. They're always going to want more. That's how evil works. Evil does not have a goal. Evil does not have lines in the sand it won't cross. There is no depth they won't sink to. And if you think that this is just going to fly by like a breeze and nothing's going to happen, you're more retarded than I thought. Because this is a sign that things are about to get a lot worse on the internet. And you're not going to do shit about it, are you? Anonymous talks a big game, but they ain't going to do squat. And all the 4chan people, talk about how they're the lulz and, never forgive, never forget, and all this bullshit. They ain't going to do anything. You all are going to sit there and let Google run your life to the point where they own everything, and by extension can ban you from everything. This is why you need to fight for internet rights. It isn't your property. It never was your property. It's Google's property. And Google just allows you to ban people because Google doesn't care. Google would rather continue its struggle for more power. So, when you get banned from everything, and trust me, I know how that feels. I've already endured that, been there, done that. How are you going to react? Maybe then you'll become as Jim Prophet. Or maybe then you'll just sink into a depression, kill yourself. That would make me happy too. Whatever you do, just realize that Google is the internet, more or less. And until the government does something, or until you all start to see how fucked up this really is, it gets worse. So see